are going to be doing something a little bit different. We are going to be doing some DIY cup painting. So we have a few materials. We have...
You start this way. You want to compare it?
Yeah.
So this is what it looks like when you originally get it.
Mm-hmm. So that's
the end result.
And here's our end result.
You want to explain it, or you want me to explain it?
Can you explain it?
So you start off with a plain cup. This one really didn't cost us a lot, so you can do some bargain shopping on the internet, and you can get some really good deals on cups. So the first step is to prime the cup with any kind of primer. You buy it really cheap at Walmart or any other store. After you prime the cup, then you paint the cup. And we have a box of supplies. You want to raise it up? A box of supplies that we have here collected from several months. And I guess a step before that, we already have a built rotisserie motor setup. So it's not very difficult to make. PVC, a small rotisserie motor that you can buy on Amazon. They're really cheap, like $8 or something. PVC, as I said, and you can have your own. In order to turn the cup, which this one is already in it, you have a pool noodle that we use.
Cut up a pool noodle and put some duct tape on it.
Put some duct tape, stick it in the cup, stick it on the other end, and you can do your painting, you can do your epoxy, and that's what we're gonna do today. So this is the cup that we're gonna be working on, and we're gonna be putting not only epoxy, but a vinyl sticker on this as well, just like this one. So several steps.
We have a Cricut machine.
Yeah, Mommy has a Cricut machine, so.
Oh, and always remember, if you're putting paint or really anything on it, it's probably going to drip. So down here, we have a paper towel.
Or several paper towels. So epoxy, we just bought tabletop epoxy, a gallon kit. Get them off of Amazon really cheap. Take those and mix them into whatever you want to do. So all of that said, it's not very difficult to have this set up. So anyway, step one, after you've painted, primed and painted your cup, you're going to dry it. Rather, after it's dried, you're going to rub it down with an alcohol wipe if you can find one after COVID-19.
We got really lucky and we got a whole box. We were just like, yes!
And the end goal is to get all the oil from your fingerprints, but be careful because this is also going to remove some of the paint off, so don't rub it really hard. You just want to get the oil off so that the epoxy will adhere to your cup. Also, if you do happen to get some paint off, like we have a little spot here, you can come back and touch that up, and we'll show you here in a minute.
Before we painted the cup, we put tape on the bottom, and now we're removing it to leave a cool effect that you can see later. After this, we will epoxy it. Be sure to always have an adult's help. We do not want anyone cutting themselves. When you're pulling the tape, be sure to pull away from the paint so as not to pull any of it off. Now we're going to go back and cut away any rough edges that we don't want to cover with the epoxy. This makes it look smooth. Because of the smooth finish of the cup, after we took the tape off, we scored it with wet, dry 600 grade sandpaper. We do this very gently because we don't want to peel off the paint. After we dry it, we clean it with an alcohol wipe and touch up some of the scratches that we caused. Now it's time for the epoxy. We used 7.5 ml of both the tabletop epoxy and the epoxy hardener. We stirred it well, but slowly so as not to cause any bubbles. When the epoxy is well blended, it will become transparent and lose its milky color. You are now ready to pour it. Notice that we are pouring the epoxy in strips and spreading it evenly. Do this until the entire cup is covered. Here, you'll need an extra set of helping hands to turn the motor as you spread it evenly. To do the bottom, drip the epoxy on the edge and use your finger to rub it onto the bottom. Be sure to cover the entire bottom surface. At this point, we are using a blowtorch to release any trapped air pockets. Don't leave the flame in one place for too long, or else the epoxy will become too hot and drip off. You must have an adult to help you or even do it here, so be careful. At this point, the cup needs to dry for about 7 hours. We usually leave it overnight to be sure this happens. Be sure to check that the motor is running every once in a while, or else you'll get some really cool stalactites. After the epoxy has dried and is no longer gummy, we use our 600 grade sandpaper to score it, so the next coat of epoxy will stick. To remove the oil from the cup, we again use an alcohol wipe before attaching any stickers and the next coat of epoxy. This is a vinyl sticker that we cut with our Cricut machine. Center it as you wish on the cup. If you are using vinyl, be sure to pull the contact paper at an angle away from the cup so as not to pick the sticker up. Oh no, we lost the T. But don't worry, we can pick it up with the contact paper and place it where we need it. Here's the finished product before we apply the next coat of epoxy. After you finish with the stickers, mix your epoxy formula and apply the second layer. Remember, it will take at minimum 7 hours to dry, so you may want to leave it overnight again. If after it dries it's still gummy, give it another day. The coat should harden. If you think it requires another coat, simply repeat the process. It is your cup. Enjoy!
Sad, dude.